The difference between cow's milk and versus goat's milk is that your body has a tendency to absorb the goat's milk in its entirety, whereas cow's milk, you seem to have, the human body has a harder time. It usually takes 2 to 3 hours to absorb cow's milk, where it takes 20 minutes with goats. They have a much better enzymes, electrolytes, proteins, and fats that all benefit the body, whereas cow's milk could actually be harmful to the body, especially through pasteurization and homogenation. And not to mention that goat's milk has been around, has been used far longer than any dairy cow. And I mean, it's been here long before the biblical times. Most countries rely on it heavily, and they find that goat's milk has so many more benefits. Not just the milk, but the meat. It doesn't contain as much fat, to the best of my knowledge, anyway. And one of the other facts is that goats, extremely rare cases, ever suffer cancer, just like a shark. They've never been known to have cancer cells. It's better, and plus their products and the byproducts from goats are actually better for your heart. You don't seem to have any residual from goat's milk, like you would a cow. And that's what I've learned thus far in the 2 years that I've been doing this. And I've found that most of Americans are starting to wake up to that, and they're actually starting, and as they become more health conscious, they're actually steering away from dairy cows and going to the dairy goat. And it's really actually quite wonderful.
How about the cheese that you make from them?
Actually, I don't. We ship to a company over in Barton, Vermont. It's Vermont Butter and Cheese, and they produce all the butters and the actual cheeses. We just basically raise the goats, and we handle the milk, and they pick it up twice a week, and that's about what we can do with it.
So do you know anything about the difference between regular cheese and goat cheese?
Actually, I don't. I'm not that astute. I'm sorry. I have 177 goats.
How many?
177.
What's your farm in Glover?
In Glover, Vermont.
What is it?
It's J-View Farms.
J-View, okay. And so how are they to care for, and what do they eat?
They eat a variety of things. Oh. We allow them to go out into and graze in our pastures.
Oh, good. Okay.
And they have kind of a bizarre diet. They'll have a tendency to go eat tree leaves and berry bushes and things like that grow in the wild. And once they've gotten done with those, then they go to the next favorite thing, which would be dead leaves or just underbrush. And then they'll get tired of that. Then they'll eventually go to actual green grasses and ferns. So they actually go from their most favorite to the least favorite. And then they'll rest and digest, and then they'll come back out and start the whole process all over again. But just like cows, they don't stay in one spot. They actually migrate everywhere. So we allow them to do just that. We allow them to go out and eat to their little heart's content.
Wow, how many acres do you need to have for that?
Well, for the amount of goats that we have, we utilize 110 acres.
Wow.
And most of those acreages are pastured off, and we have them fenced off, so they can only go from one pasture to another, provided that we allow it. Right now, we've opened up everything, so they can pretty much just cover the entire area, and which they do on a regular basis, provided it doesn't rain, because our guys, for some reason, does not like the rain. And they will make a straight line for the barn every time.
Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. They do not like the rain.
You know that there's acid rain, huh?
That could very well be it.
Or
I always thought it
radiation.
was just that they don't want to get wet.
Yeah. Now, what do you feed them in the winter?
In the wintertime, we feed them hay. We actually get off our land, and we also supplement that with selenium blocks and salt blocks, and not to mention grain. We give them a sweet goat grain.
So they have a pretty pure diet.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so important.
Oh, yes.
Because, I mean, one thing about goats, they can be trouble-free as long as you give them the appropriate nutrients and trace elements. But because there's one ingredient, especially like selenium, for instance, they can't get any of the selenium from the soils and plants in the state of Vermont. So you have to supplement that.
Yeah. So they're kind of friendly, loving animals.
Mine are.
I know them from Jamaica.
It's been said that they can be quite mean, but none of ours is mean. None of ours have a bad disposition in any way because we hand raised every single one of them.
Oh.
Everyone.
Okay.
We've bottle fed just about everyone you see.
Wow.
And including all the ones on the farm. I mean, we literally have been to every freshening that's ever occurred on our farm. So, and giving them that love and attention and all that, they are what you see.
Gentle.
They are.
If they could be on their own, they would chew up everything. That's why you have to keep feeding them.
you do have to keep
They
talking.
just
And,
give
you know,
each other
and the
a hug.
thing about goats too, they are one of the hardest animals to contain.
Oh.
If they want out, they will get out.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen them climb up rocks.
They will do
And,
anything
you know,
it takes,
wild.
and they're problem solvers. They'll sit there and they'll analyze a situation, and then they will come up with a resolution. Like for instance, a fence line, they'll check the perimeter for weaknesses, and they'll exploit that weakness every chance they get. And not just that, I have some that have been able to manipulate locks and doorknobs, and
So
they're just
pretty,
amazing.
They're pretty intelligent.
They're
beings.
extremely intelligent. They really are. They're actually surprising in some of the things that they will and can do. And that's why I'm so fascinated with them, because of the way they contemplate a situation and they execute a plan. And it's just amazing to watch them. They're absolutely amazing animals.
That is something. Remember you saved one who put his head through the fence in Jamaica? They have all these wire fences. And like you say, they want to be out. And
They won't get out.
And he was in, Vernon pulled his head out and got him out properly.
It was all
They're
tangled up,
wanderers. They're
Some of
wanderers
the
and
fence.
travelers.
Yeah, we had one that actually the little short black one we named Pepper. We have stalls that are similar to these that are 8 by 10, and she figured out instead of having to jump from one stall to the next to finally get out, she walks on the very edge of the boards all the way
These
entire.
boards?
Yes, they're a little bit thicker than this. They're about approximately 2 inches thick, and she can actually walk the entire length of the barn on top of that rail.
Wow.
And that's how she figured out how to get out. And that's what we've never been able to contain her. She just knows that if she wants out, that's how she's got to do it.